Remember, it's Chris over here at Dixieland Farm, and I am making a vinyl video on my top 8 albums. So I've already done like 1 through 5, and there's going to be 6, 7, and 8. Chris, why are you doing it your favorite to least in your top 20? And that's because the top entries are not usually surprises, you know, when you watch these videos. So you watch these countdowns, and like 20, you're like, really? That's number 20? That's weird. And then 10, that's interesting. And then you get to like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're like, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. So we're going to do it the other way to make it a little more interesting. Also, it's because I've done these things piecemeal anyway. And the rules on this are that they cannot be compilation albums. An artist can only appear once, and I have to have it on vinyl. So those are the rules. And the number 1 was the White Album. Number 2 was Pet Sounds, though honestly probably should have been Smile, so that's equal. Number 3 is Neutral Milk Hotels in the Airplane Over the Sea. I just listened to this album a week ago, and yeah, it's still number 3, beating out Velvet Underground, which, like anything from the Velvet Underground, basically could be on the list. Probably the self-titled, the 3rd album, or Loaded, probably beats out White Light, White Heat, but I go to White Light, White Heat most often. And Kinks are my favorite band, but showing up at number 5, interestingly. And Lola, I think, is the most well-rounded out of all of the albums. They're all great, and of course everyone would pick Village Green, but I think Lola is a little bit better. Arthur's great, but it has, you know, they're all great from 66 to 73. Or even 75. I mean, I do like a soap opera. So number 6, here you go. This is what you're tuning into. Number 6, favorite album of all time is Lil Beethoven by Sparks. So this is a interesting album, put out, what, 2003, I think, or somewhere along that period. This is a, you know, so Sparks has been around since, you know, literally 1970. So they've been around forever. You can watch the documentary The Sparks Brothers on Netflix. Constantly reinventing themselves, dedicated to their art, so much so that they, you know, barely have relationships with other people. The 2 brothers, Ron and Russell Mael. And so Lil Beethoven's another reinvention where Ron starts playing these lines over and over and over again. So you get these like slowly changing figures, you know, sort of Philip Glass-like. And the lyrics are kind of like that also. They kind of repeat, but they slowly evolve. So, you know, for example, a song like Your Call is Very Important to Us, Please Hold. And it's just repeated over and over again, you know. Your call is very important to us, please hold, please hold. And little different permutations and changing. It's probably takes a little bit to get into, but once you get into it, it's number 6. That's right, number 7. This one also, I'm sure it's controversial, but just based on the amount of times I've delved into this, and same thing, I listened to this album like 2 weeks ago, and it's still on the list. The Age of Adz by Sufjan Stevens. So Sufjan Stevens, you know, kind of a indie folk little wonder kid, you know, burst on the scene with his Greetings from Lake Michigan, and then Illinois, and then he said that he was going to make an album about every state, which was kind of a joke, but then people were holding him to it. And then this is just an interesting, he was suffering from some medical issues, and he was also getting into an outsider artist at the time, so it's a kind of a combination of both of those things, and meditation on life, and it's just amazing record once you get into it. And it is different from his little folk indie, you know, banjo, look how cute I am. You know, it's got all these harsh electronic noises, and it's dense. It's dense to get into. You have to kind of know the story of what's going on with him and the Prophet Royal Robinson, and what he was going through mentally when he was making this artwork, which is very apocalyptic, and you've got, you know, things showing you some of the artwork here. Amazing record. Still holds up, still amazes me, and I get something from it every time I listen to it. And then this is, so that was 6, 7, and number 8, probably not a surprise, probably on lots of your lists, Television's Marquee Moon. And to be honest with you, I really don't get past the first side, because the first side is the most perfect record side right up there with Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced, and his debut. So debut album, television, out of the CBGB scene, very different than the rest of the CBGB acts because they could actually play their instruments and very well, and angular shredding guitars. I knew a guy, he learned how to play guitar by just learning this album. And Tom Verlaine's voice is a bit to get into, just like Dylan's, so it's very, kind of a sound to it. So it might be a little bit much for some people, but side 2 is also good, but you listen to side 1, you're like, damn it, I want to listen to that side again. And you just keep playing it over and over and over again. And the title song, Marquee Moon, is just an amazing, I think it's 10 minutes of guitar work that was ever put onto tape. It's just outstanding. So there you go, 1 through 8. And the next video will be maybe 9 and 10. More surprises, hopefully. So, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Take care.